The Greek islands in the Aegean Sea are as diverse as they are unique. Home to the Centarian secret. A gourmet paradise with pristine beaches. And plenty to discover, even in the most popular spots. 5 islands, 5 dream locations. Island hopping from Mykonos to Ikaria, from Zifnos and Kimolos and Poliaigos, and back to Mykonos. Mykonos, 2 million visitors every year, 200 times as many as the island's total population. A luxurious summer destination for the international jet set. Even if you've never been here, chances are you already have an image of Mykonos in your head. The island may be famous, but it still has hidden corners, untold stories. But more on that later. Mykonos is the ideal starting point for an island-hopping tour in the Aegean Sea. The international airport is just 10 minutes from the port. Various ferry companies offer trips to almost any island. Our first destination is Ikaria. The island is named after Icarus, who, as the legend goes, flew too close to the sun and crash-landed right here. Ikaria is also known as the Island of the Centenarians. It's one of the world's 5 blue zones, places where people reach an exceedingly ripe old age. Ikaria, the fountain of youth, whether it's the sea or the air in the mountain villages, the food, or the outdoor social lifestyle. No one really knows for sure. But there's definitely something special about the way people live here. Orania knows exactly what it is.
Very funny. It's not just that we live longer, we live happier. And you know what? We have no gap between the social classes, no gap between the generations. We respect one each other and we care for the people. The communities are very strong and that helps. It's really supportive, the environment, and that's why I never regret to be in this remote island for the rest of my life.
Women play a key role on the island. Some even refer to it as a matriarchy. Daphne's been working for 2 years at the Women's Cooperative here in Christos Raches, a Greek mountain village where time seems to stand still. In Christos Raches, mutual support is what counts.
The initial idea was that women who lived here and the jobs here are not something, easy to find. They were making things with their hands, with local products. So they gathered together and they started the cooperative for them to be able to live out of it. And with the things that they were making, I guess, for their houses to be able to sell it and have incomes.
The Women's Cooperative is a workplace, store, and cafe rolled into one. Everything on sale here is made by women from Ikaria.
They don't use, most of the people, they don't use chemicals to grow their vegetables. They don't have to, actually, because it's You know, it's a place where if you work with your land, the land gives you back.
Daphnis found her place here. For her, life on Ikaria is just blissful. To the north of the island is the coastal resort of Nas. With its gorgeous beach, it's the perfect place to watch the sunset.
We have the best sunset here. You can have a look if you want. It's the best sunset in all the Aegean.
Asfand and his friends have some ideas about why life here is so relaxed.
This is the nature of Ikaria, I think.
Yeah.
This is the nature of Ikaria. From these people. He's always happy without stress. He needs only little wine, little bread.
From the past
Ikaria,
years.
From the past
Always,
year.
yeah.
I think this is the secret of the long life. No stress, just walking, little wine,
Yeah.
little bread, and we are good.
Yeah, and we are good, yeah.
On Ikaria, people are serious about cooking. Slow food isn't trendy, it's a way of life. The residents' harmonious coexistence is also reflected in the island's cuisine. Here, vegetables are a staple food. Zucchini and egg and lemon sauce, a typical island dish.
Zucchini.
First, I brown onions and garlic. Then I add some diced zucchini, as well as salt, pepper, and rice. I fry everything together for about 5 minutes. Then I use the mixture to stuff the zucchinis, which are placed on top of the potatoes. Then everything's cooked with oil, salt, pepper, and oregano. The egg lemon sauce comes right at the end.
Evangelia runs Naiades restaurant in Nas with her daughters. Always on the daily menu, soufiko, a traditional Icarian vegetable stew.
It's only mixed vegetable this season, and depends what we have in your garden. Lot of onion, zucchini, aubergines, just a little bit potatoes, peppers, a little bit garlic, a little bit carrot, and we cooked all together on fire. And the name is soufiko, and the name is Icarian dialect. So soufiko from θα σου αφήσω, I keep for you food. Θα σου αφήσω. And the Icarian dialect ασουφίκο, and so soufiko.
In Ikaria, what's for dinner depends on what's growing in the family garden. Thanks to its abundance of water, the island is self-sufficient. The people who live here have always provided for themselves. Irini and Evangelia want to show us their garden in the mountains.
Not everything thrives the way you'd like it to, but that's totally normal and natural. There are so many factors: the season, climate change, the weather.
Nature, fresh food from the garden, is that the centenarian secret?
The secret, it's not something. My mother say good energy, and Ikaria give us good energy. It's not one a secret. I think it's a team from a secret. we know what we eat, we know the moment, we try to realize the moment. It's many things.
But if you loved me.
Perhaps it's simply the strong family bonds on the island that make life here so worth living.
I grew up here, that's why. And I know the place, I know the all. I like this. And I cannot imagine myself in the city.
From the fertile north side of the island, we travel along twisting roads through the mountains to the south. A distance of about 40 kilometers. The port of Maganitis provides a glimpse of just how extraordinary the place is. Socrates and his American guests Catherine and Mike take us along with them to Ikarea's most exotic beach.
I came here 10 years ago with somebody I knew from this island. His family was from here, and was blown away. The Seychelles Beach. And it was one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen in the world. 10 years later, I'm back and it looks exactly the same. It hasn't changed a bit. You have that boat there, it's been here forever. The water is green, it's clear, it's just untouched.
Socrates can't think of a better place to live either. He wants to grow old here, very old.
Whenever I ask the old people, they are telling me that if you're careful how you have to eat like less, don't be stuffed all the time, like eat less, exercise, like you have to walk the mountains and have a wine. And they told me also that sex is a good way to have a long life. They telling me.
Socrates trusts the old folks' advice. He wants to introduce us to his favorite aunt. She was born here. Now she's 89 and as fit as a fiddle.
I get up at 6 a.m. Then I have to go to my garden to water and tend to my vegetables. When I'm finished with that, I go to my son's restaurant to cook for the guests. I do that until about 1 o'clock in the morning. I love it, and I never get tired. I've got a big family, and I love what I do.
The secret of the centenarians of Ikaria? To be needed, not to be lonely, to keep moving, and to live in the moment. Our journey continues to Sifnos, a Cyclonic island with as many churches as days in the year, or so they say. The Church of the Seven Martyrs, with its seemingly endless flight of stone steps. It's one of the many highlights of this small island. The steps from the church lead to Castro, a fortified settlement. People have been living here since it was built. The Venetian fortress went up in 1635. Large sections of the medieval town structure have been preserved. Maria Eleni and Yorgos grew up here, just like their parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. Playing hide and seek in a fortress was quite normal for them as children, and even today, their life in this extraordinary place is rather ordinary, they say.
It's funny when tourists pass through in the summer and peer into our houses. For them, it's all very interesting, like a museum village. But actually, we live here, and we're not part of a museum.
Το έχουμε συνηθίσει αυτό εδώ πέρα. Οπότε είμαστε στα μικρή, το βλέπουμε που το κάνανε στα σπίτια αυτό. Οπότε δεν μου φαίνεται παράξενο.
There are ancient sarcophagi in the streets. You can touch them. They're not behind plexiglass. They're simply part of the village.
Αυτό που βλέπετε είναι πραγματικό.
Everything you see here is genuinely old. They found the old columns and stones under the ground when the village was rebuilt. And then they used it all to build the houses and decorate them. You can also see, over the entrances to the houses, very old stones were used. They have a history, going back a long time.
Test of my patience. There's things that we'll never know.
Maria Eleni's grandmother, Eleni, knits tirelessly for the next generation in Castro. Eleni's been running the village supermarket for more than 50 years. She's never been anywhere else. Will her granddaughter take over the store at some point? That's yet to be decided. Just down the hill, a newcomer to the island is putting his twist on traditional Greek cuisine.
We hear stories and we make it dishes. We try to be real with the traditional recipe, the flavor, the ingredients, it's all there. But we try to make it more appealing for everyone, even the Greeks. They know what they're gonna eat when they read it, but they don't know how.
At Theodosius' restaurant, octopus and lentil soup certainly looks different.
We cut the tentacles and we put steel inside, like souvlaki. It's very straight. Here it is. This is how we do it.
Then the octopus is simmered in red wine for about 40 minutes. Lentil fava with paprika cream and tender octopus, Theodosius' fresh interpretation of a traditional dish. With its fabulous view over the Aegean, Theodosius' restaurant thrives on a passion for food. Who knew storytelling could be so delicious? Food is of the utmost importance here on Sifnos. One of the most famous chefs in Greece, Nikolaos Tselementes, was born here. Anyone who loves good food will certainly find happiness on Sifnos. Another source of happiness are these rather sad-looking fields. What grows here is a genuine sensation. And this is the miracle gardener himself, the man who can get fruit and vegetables to grow without water. Georgios Narlis.
The island was very rich in water. We have many wells everywhere. But after the tourist business started and make the people deep well, start to spend the water and the level below, and now we are dry.
Georgios used his mother's 80-year-old seeds to cultivate his own drought-resistant plants.
After grow the seeds, the root understand have no water and making one very deep root, only one, for go very deeper for still in the life. This root is the only for still in the life, not for make watermelons 12 kilos. Because it's the important for the plant to still in the life. Because if they have not root, not possible to make anything. I have here some tomatoes. Now is the last, but we can eat it. You can see the juices. Very, very juice. All the vitamins from the soil still inside. It's very, very tasty. The people for tasty these tomatoes is that if tasty, never you can stop. Never you pay any money because the people now have no tasty. Oh my God.
Is it good?
Very good, very nice.
He stands firmly behind his approach, and he offers tours and courses on his farm so he can share his know-how. Georgios is certain that his agricultural method is the future. Despite its small size, Sifnos is a breathtaking island with many stunning features. It also boasts more signposted hiking trails than most other Greek islands. One of the most beautiful paths leads from the Pharos beach to the Chrysopigi Monastery. Pharos Beach invites visitors to wind down and relax. Lovely tamarind trees provide shade, and thanks to the bay's location, there's often no wind at all. There are many wonderful bays on this island. Here in Cheronissos, time seems to have ground to a halt. Like generations of his family before him, Kostas still makes pottery here. With its deposits of clay, Sifnos used to supply islands across Greece with ceramic cooking pots. Apollonia, the capital of Sifnos, is the quintessential Cycladic village. It's quiet here off-season. Drakakis is the oldest and most popular local kafenio, or Greek cafe. It doesn't get busy until after sundown. Ten years ago, Yannis and Eleni Drakakis passed the kafenio to their grandsons Nikos and Yannis. It wasn't an easy step for Yannis Jr. in particular. After all, young islanders generally moved to the mainland. But the brothers agreed and renovated the old kafenio with love and respect for its original character. Yannis and Eleni like to pop in for a visit. They say it feels like the old days. they've just gotten a bit older.
Ήταν ήδη διάσημο το μαγαζί, οπότε...
I did find it challenging.
Ξεκινήσαμε με...
I really didn't want to disappoint my grandfather.
Το βρήκαμε έτοιμο φημισμένο.
He was a famous man here, with a very well-known cafe that was always full.
Με τη φήμη του και...
But it all worked out fine. Tourism also gave us a boost, of course.
Πολύ τουρισμού.
Yanis and Eleni are grateful and proud that their life's work is being continued in their spirit. Zifnos is an island bursting with stories, traditions, and renewal. The full moon over the Aegean makes leaving Zifnos a little easier. The journey continues, this time to Kimolos. Kimolos keeps its calm vibe, even during the high season. Vacationers coming here seek relaxation, natural beauty, and the authentic Greece. Much like on the neighboring island of Milos, on Kimolos you can live closer to the water than almost anywhere else. And you're in good company.
Τα σπίτια αυτά τα ονομάζουν, λέγονται μαγαζιά.
These houses are called sirmata.
Φτιάχτηκαν.
They're caves dug out of the rock. They were built as a secure place for the island's fishers to store their boats in winter or in bad weather.
Ψαράδες περισσότερο και να τις προστατεύουν το χειμώνα και όταν ο καιρός δεν ήταν.
Because there aren't as many fish in our sea as there used to be, there aren't as many fishers here.
Επειδή
As a result, there are only a few boats. Now tourists can rent the houses in summer. They're simply being put to a different use. In the old days, there'd be boats in the sirmata. Now holidaymakers sleep in them.
The houses all have different features. The house Leronimos shows us has been given a luxurious makeover by his son. Out of bed, straight into the sea. Leronius' Sirmata is right next door and still houses his boat in the winter. As neighbors go, he's a lucky catch. He goes fishing every day in the summer and always shares part of his haul with the guests.
Με πολλούς τουρίστες φίλοι, γινόμαστε φίλοι.
I've made friends with many vacationers.
Τους αρέσει και έρχονται.
Yes, I've got friends all over the world.
Είμαστε φίλοι και καθόμαστε εδώ.
They like it here. They keep coming back. We sit together outside our houses and I grill or cook something, make a few appetizers.
Τσίπουρο και
we drink wine or tsipuro and we just have a good time together.
Με όλους διατηρούμε φιλίες, ανταλλάσσουμε.
And when the guests leave, we message each other on Facebook. It's really nice.
Ο χρόνος μας.
The sea around Kimolos is also Andreas's favorite place. With his Perseus, an old fishing boat, he and his co-skipper George offer tours to the most beautiful spots around the islands of Milos and Kimolos. But the place he loves the most is Polyaigos, the largest uninhabited island in the Aegean. Polyaigos is Greek for many goats, and Andreas loves them all. A long time ago, people lived here. When they left the barren island, they simply left their goats behind. The goats are very shy, but when Andreas arrives, they venture onto the beach.
This is Hugo. This is Alicia, the small one, the girl. The others, they are to the Cafeneon there, to the old mine. I think they sleep. They think Perseus, you don't come now because it's end of the season. And for this reason, they don't come back.
For years now, Andreas has been bringing the goats carrots, melons, and maize. If it doesn't rain for months, the animals on Polyaigos have nothing more to eat. Andreas has vivid memories of his first encounter with the goats of Polyaigos.
I saw them behind some beautiful goats, and I thought, okay, I have some melons, and I thought to feed them. They don't come down, but the moment we took the anchor to go, then this moment, they walk down, eat the melons. And after 5 years, they come so close.
Polyaigos is a magical place. George thinks so too. He's been here countless times with Andreas.
I felt the connection with the sea and I really like to be around it or in it or on it. So that's why I really love Polyaigos too. It's really amazing and beautiful water, the rocks are amazing, everything. The wildlife, how rough and pure this island is really, really amazing and you will not find it in a lot of places.
The boat tours to Polyaigos are an unforgettable experience. No one knows better than Andreas how to safely navigate the shallows and the rocks to reach the most beautiful spots. On Kimolos, Andreas plans to drop in on a very special person. When it comes to seafaring knowledge, this is the man who taught him everything. He invites us to join him. And suddenly we're standing in the bedroom of Kimolos' most famous resident. Captain Augustis, 96 years old, local hero and Andreas' mentor. The two men meet regularly and reminisce together.
I spent 70 years of my life at sea, breathed in the salty air for 70 years, and I've never been to the doctor.
His boat. Sufi. Yes. He was the person who transferred the people from Kimolos to Polonia. Every morning he started 6:30 from Kimolos to bring the people to the doctors in Milos. It was not doctor here. Somebody, he was sick. Immediately in the night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, he ran with a boat to bring him to the doctor. Or somebody need pharmacy. It was not pharmacy.
I always took my boat out, regardless of the time of day or the weather. When it was 8, 9, 10 and even 11 on the Beaufort scale.
To explain, 11 on the Beaufort scale means gale force winds and waves that are meters high. Their shared love of the sea has made the two captains friends for life. Captain Augustis wouldn't think twice about setting sail in conditions like these. But the modern ferry to Milos is much less robust, and service has been suspended today. Anyone hoping to get to the neighboring island will have to wait until the wind drops. In the south of the island, there's a place with barely a breeze. This despite the region's strong winds known as Meltemi. Kalamitsi Beach is a little paradise, exuding an almost meditative calm and serenity. Kimolos is one of the few remaining unspoiled islands in Greece. In total contrast to our final destination. Mykonos, billed as the most expensive island in Greece. Up to 8 cruise ships dock here every day. The narrow streets of the old town are packed with tourists from all over the world. It's a place on everyone's bucket list, it would seem. Mykonos town is absolutely beautiful, if only it wasn't so full.
That's nothing. You see in summer, 200 meters down.
But there are places on Mykonos with no crowds or queues. Vioma Farm, less than 10 kilometers from the bustling old town, is the perfect spot to experience a very different side of Mykonos. The farmer's founder, Nikos, runs this tranquil place with his daughters. A small restaurant with its own wine, its own cheese, fruit, and vegetables. Dimitris, Nikos' son-in-law, takes care of the farm's livestock and the bikes. He and his wife Dimitria offer cycling tours off the beaten track.
Dimitra is my partner in life and cycling, and she's also the founder and owner of Yummy Pedals. So technically I'm working for my wife.
And his boss.
Yes, she's my boss, and she's the brain.
Dimitris wants to take us to the north of Mykonos, far away from the clubs and the parasol-covered beaches. The north wind is merciless, and reservoir water levels are pitifully low.
When I first came on the island 4 years ago, the level of water was up there where the line is. It was all full with water. Now every summer it gets emptier and emptier. I guess this is a good example of climate change. That's why nowadays in Mykonos, the water that we're using, it does not come anymore from our water reservoirs, but it's from desalinization from the sea. We have 2 or 3 plants producing water now. There is a part of the island that it's just an unspoiled, with unspoiled beaches. Like that one, like the beach of Fokos. I believe that there is people that come on Mykonos that are looking for some quiet time, some activities, and to see something different than the bars and the nightlife and the beach clubs. So that's my office actually.
The view here is not quite as spectacular, but the authenticity of this workplace on Mykonos makes up for that. Alyosha and Angelos were really keen to brew craft beer on their home island, even though Mykonos has neither hops nor malt nor spring water.
We have a full desalination, seed desalination plant on site. So we desalinate the water, and with that water we brew beer, which is perfectly potable fresh water, which we have to do from scratch, okay?
So the main ingredient is actually from Mykonos, which is the water.
93% of beer is water, so that is definitely Mykonian.
Beer from seawater. Alyosha and Angelos are two very creative people. The two also offer tours of the brewery and, of course, beer tastings. Mykonos is their great love, even if the island's jet-set lifestyle is a far cry from their own.
I'm used to this. I grew up here, so I've seen Mykonos in general. It's always been a jet-set since I was a child, because in the 60s it was just a little fisherman's island, very poor. But then jet setters started coming, and then it evolved more.
There's no question that Mykonos relies on tourism, but the small island has overextended itself. During the high season, it's full to bursting, and prices are sky high. We can only hope that the most expensive island in Greece doesn't squander its special magic. The magic that's a part of all the Greek islands, generated by a strong sense of community, magnificent bays and beaches, and the people who live there with all their ideas and passions.